Every time I talk to my uncle nowadays, he keeps on asking the same question.
When are you getting married?
When I find the right person.
When are you getting married?
When I find the right person.
When are you getting married?
When are you? When are you? Pressure.
Hello, my name is Wanu Adefala from Eleuthera, and this is my sister. Her name is also Wanu. So
Hi
it's
guys.
Maybe we should call the video Wanu Squared. Anyway, so today we want to talk to you about, I guess, what it's like to be in your late 20s or early 30s, or just not married at a particular age. Basically, funny things happened to me this week, and I thought, let me, deal with something a little bit more personal. I know we've been focusing on prayer a lot with the Lutheran, but I want to talk about something a little bit more personal. So I'm in my late 20s. Mind your business about the actual age. I'm celebrating anniversaries of my 21st birthday. I'm kidding, but yeah, not really. So basically I went to work this week, and one of my aunties, with all the best intentions, came to me and was like, oh, you've been graduated for like donkey years now. Time is going. What else did she say? You're working. She even said I'm good looking, which she didn't lie about. Praise Jesus. And a professional, and but time is going and all that stuff. And I was like, okay. So that was one. And then I was at a wedding yesterday, and at uni I have a group of friends and we love each other. We hadn't been together for a while, so we're taking pictures and stuff. Sorry about the long story, but you get it in the end. We're taking pictures, and one of them then says, oh, I was gonna say we should all take pictures with our husbands, but then she looked at me, because obviously among my friends I'm the only one that's like not married and single, and I was just like, shade. Like shade. And then a little bit later in the evening, she then also one of the friends is getting married later, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to be the chief, blah blah blah, and I was really excited about that, because obviously she could pick anybody else. And then my friend says, well, there's no other choice, so you're the only one left standing. Shade. And then I had to say to her, I was like, well, listen, my singleness is not a curse. Like, I'm single at the moment. It's not forever. It's not a curse. And I actually did say, I'm not gonna lie, I also said, you'd be surprised that your invite to my wedding may just be missing in the mail. I'm not gonna lie, because I was just like, it's not necessary. And I find that, okay, at this age, I'm thankfully not, in a place where I'm like, oh my God, I'm not worried about marriage. It doesn't weigh on me. Do you understand? Because I know God's time is the best. But I just imagine, like, some people that it's, you're in a really painful place, and people are just there pointing out your singleness like you don't know you're single. I also love when they point out your age, like you forgot your age. Like, exactly. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, don't you know you're 29? Don't you know you're 30 something? Dude, I'm the one that celebrates my birthday. I know this, right?
And then they talk to you about that you should start considering your age, because by the time you're married and start having children straight away, well, it's not for you to determine my body clock and how my body clock runs. It's God that determines when my children. Right.
It might seem as if I've been specific with this responses, but we're just going to talk about it now. I have with me my sister, Wanu. She is over the 30. So I'm approaching 30, and she's over the 30 mark. And I just want you to speak, like, what has it been for you to see? Because obviously you've had some of your friends that are younger that have gotten married. How have you dealt with like that constant reminder that blah 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 blah?
I think for me it's been a journey. I can say I was one of those girls who used to look around at see my friends that were younger than me, younger people getting married. Yeah, you do become envious, because in all of your heart that is what you desire. It's not wrong to have this desires of your heart, but what I came to a point where it consumed my mind, and it affected everything else. It even affected the way you view God. Like, some people serve God or say, God, I'll do this if you do this for me. We're not like here to pimp God out, use him as our business transactor, if you see what I mean. And walking with God, everything became about walking with God, serving God for this particular thing. God, if you do this for me, if you bring this person, if you bring my husband, then I'll do this, or I'll give this amount. And when they say to give, you'll give. Only based because you want your husband to come. But God had to strip that away, completely took my mind off that. He literally took me through a year where I wasn't allowed to date anybody. And I must say, the devil is a liar. That's when all of the guys will start asking me out on dates. I went on a couple, I must say. But you know what? Nothing came of those dates, because in my mind I was like, well, if you really were the one, you would come at the right time. Because I know God is never late. He's never out of time. There's no confusion with God. He is the perfect author. And so in that year, God literally he erased and rewrote my mindset concerning marriage, and to prioritize other things in life that were more important to get through, to experience, to achieve. When I approached 30, when I was 29, my 29th birthday was was it an epitome or effigy or something like that? It was.
We're gonna find out what those words mean and put it to you.
I had a light bulb moment that. I was like,
epiphany.
An epiphany, that's the word.
Yes.
I thought to myself, I was like, God, this is my last year being 20-something. This is my final year in my 20s. And I looked back and I thought, I have spent the majority of my 20s thinking about when my husband would come. I was like, I've got one more year to enjoy myself. So I went out, I discovered who I was.
I'm the O2.
I climbed the O2. Went to Wimbledon. I've always watched tennis and I've always loved Wimbledon, and when I had the opportunity I took it. I did so many things. I said, this year I'm going to do those things I've never done before and I've always wanted to do. I'm going to go out and enjoy myself. I started baking that year.
And that has a business called Data Cakes.
Data Cakes.
Data Cakes. Trust me, I'm a cake snob. I ain't gonna lie.
She is.
I'm a cake
really
snob. I can't just eat any cake. It has to be
She's my sampler at home. She enjoys the job very well.
I think it's her ploy to make me gain weight, but no weapon formed against me. Every calorie in those cakes, the Lord I'm them.
Yeah, I think it was when I was 20. Yeah, that was the year, because I remember that June. I've always said to myself that if I'm gonna start this baking thing, I'm not just gonna bake average cakes. I don't want to be she can bake a cake.
Yeah, design good but then taste rubbish. Or taste rubbish and design bad.
Yeah, I said to myself that I wanted the perfect formula that not only does it look good, but that taste, everyone's gonna be like, wow. And so I said to myself, let me start this. And when I baked my first cupcake, it was alright. It wasn't too bad. But you go through your ups and downs and things like that. Even that was a journey, but that's for another story.
What did it?
But yeah, so I went out in that year, discovered who I was, discovered that I actually had a talent. God has blessed my hands. The Bible says that God gives us the ability to get wealth. How are you going to know that if you don't discover that and you're focused on husband? Dealing with, pressure from people, from families, from friends. Training your heart not to be envious or jealous of what they have. You need to speak to yourself. You literally have to tell yourself, even though you're seeing other people get married, you have to tell yourself, mine will come. You have to do that. I had to do that, because you can go home, you can start the day feeling, you have faith, it's going to be a good day, I'm going to get this done. But then you see certain reminders and then you be downcast all of a sudden. But you literally have to talk yourself out of that mindset. You're going to look crazy. You really are. But you have to tell yourself, no, mine will come, that God, you've got my life will not be for a reproach.
Amen.
Isaiah 50 verse 7, it says, because the Lord God is with me and he helps me, therefore I shall not be confounded, because I have set my face like a flint. Therefore God will help me, he will not make my life a reproach. That's what I used to say, God, and despite everything that's happened to me, it will not be my life that they will be pointing at to say this, that and the other. And that's how I believe God really, he said he watches his word to perform it. Everything you say concerning your life, and it has to be scriptural, God will perform that word concerning your life.
Another thing, I like what you were saying about how watching everybody, and it can almost make you feel like marriage is the goal. I mean, when I say the goal, it's one of the goals. It's something you want to do and stuff, so it's a desire. But like I have to be married in my 20s. I have to be married in my 30s. God will give you the desires of your heart, but it's not the landmark of success. Marriage is not, as far as I can see and what I've learned from other people that have been married or that are married, and just from my bishop and everything, marriage is not like, it's not a race. A friend of mine said to another friend yesterday that we're not in competition, and that's what it's not a competition. It's literally another chapter of your life. So if you just go like, okay, you want to get married and you have the wedding, but you're not prepared, like, I think a lot of people may miss the right person and just get married to anybody because maybe because of the time factor, and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna marry this person or I'm gonna do this, and you have to be very careful because it's for the rest of your life. Like, this is like, you can't play with your life till death do us part. It's a very long time. You can't be now next to somebody and be praying he dies because that's the only thing that can separate you. That is not of God. I mean, God instituted marriage, and I just believe that, I don't know, you just need to, like she said, find out who you are so you can know who fits with you, but also not let all those many voices, some of them may do it because, you know, they're just blessed people, and some of it is from a genuine place. They have the desire for you to be married, and that's not wrong, but don't let it like,
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, don't let it.
We were talking about this earlier today, and I said, you know, you can achieve that status that, yeah, you know, you've ticked the box of marriage, but, you know, you can be unsuccessfully happy. Do you see what I mean? Like,
is it unsuccessfully happy or unsuccessfully married?
Unsuccessfully married. You can achieve the success of marriage,
like you getting married, but then be unsuccessful in actually making a marriage
or successfully unhappy. Successfully because you've not.
You get what we're trying to say. Sorry, we have our language.
We understood each other.
It makes sense when we were talking. But so this is just to say, like, number one, you're not alone. We believe God's timing is the best, and like, you can't wait for so long. You know, everybody's talking about Megan Good and her husband's, you know, book The Wait and Waiting, and that's all about, you know, sexual purity, you know, while you're dating, and that's great. But even just waiting for like the person, because you could abstain from marriage, but that doesn't mean abstain from sex, that doesn't mean that person is right. It helps in finding out who's right. But even you, like, you don't have to say yes to every date. This is not a conversation whether you should date or not date, whether you should kiss or not kiss, but just in you, like, being happy in the season that you are. The book of Psalms says that you will bear fruit in your season. So don't look at somebody else who's married now and think, okay, I should be married because it's my season. Like Job says, I will wait till my change comes. You have to prayerfully ask the Lord to give you a partner. Like your marriage, the way I see it and the way God has revealed to me is that my husband has to be someone I am called to, and he has to be called to me because he's the ministry God has called me to. I'm the ministry he's called me to. Who I am is different from who you are. So like, you may be ready to get married now, and maybe God has refined you. God may still be working on me to do certain things. We're a work in progress. Or, you know, you need a man that, I'm in ministry, there's a lot of things that I'm doing in my life that not every guy can fit into. So I need that bespoke man. Do you understand? So this is not one size fit all. A bespoke man, like, I am called for someone. You may not believe in the one, but there's somebody that would help you in your journey. You know, they said 2 is better than 1. Don't carry dead weight. Dead weight is not going to be that 2. You know, just carrying 1 dead weight. No. Do you understand what I'm saying? So like, I don't know if this has helped you, and I hope it's helped you, but I'm a Christian, I love God, and I'm not married, and I'm 29. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I'm 29. It does not mean I will never get married.
Finally.
They be throwing shit like, I look 21, praise Jesus. And it's not just because of the weave, okay? Even without the weave, I even look 18 without the weave. This is aging me, you know. But don't. They think I'm delusional. I am not delusional, but all we're trying to say is it will happen for you.
Yeah. And it's okay to be 31, 32, 33, and you're still waiting for that promise of God. It's better to wait for the promise than spend the rest of your life resenting yourself.
Wait for the promise.
Your life. Yes, you didn't wait for that.
Yes, because you know, we heard about when you said about promise, it reminded me about Abraham and Sarah.
Absolutely.
How they wanted a child, and God promised them a child. God had said, you will have a child, but they didn't get it right there and then. And so they tried to help God out, and they ended up with Ishmael. That means Abraham had to go sleep with Hagar, his servant, give it to Ishmael, and that has caused so many things up to this day, like Ishmael, Isaac. You study it yourself in terms of the promise and the, I guess, the what would you call it? The compromise. Yeah, the compromise. And you don't want to compromise, because your compromise will make you miss the promise. See, compromise, promise. There's a comma in the promise. I'm trying to preach to you, but you get it.
I just see it now. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. she loves like facts and stuff. So you don't want to compromise. You want the promise, because the promise is what will get you into the future and destiny that God has had for you. I pray this blessed you. I'm not trying to. This is not me throwing shade on anybody. I love my friends. I love everybody, and I know it's from a good place. But let's not. Some people are like suicidal about not being married. Like, don't throw someone off the edge because they haven't met your timeline. Nobody, you don't set my time, I don't set your time. God, our seasons are in God's hands. Yes, there may be things that you need to pray about, because different things may be causing delay. There may be things that you're missing. It's better to pray for someone and ask God for godly advice. The right words spoken will bring life, as opposed to condemnation and just making someone self-loathe and self-hate, making someone feel like there's something wrong with them. That's not right. Listen, I always say I could get married at any point. It's not hard to pick a man. She be his man. You pick a man. Some people are looking for, different reasons to get married. Tall, dark. You could, if it's just a man you want to marry, somebody will want to marry you. But if it's to fulfill the will of God for your life and for his life, then you need to wait on the Lord and ask him. Wait, get wisdom, prepare yourself for the long haul, not just the short term, white dress, blah, blah, blah. There's a longer term thing. So I pray this really helps you. And if you have any questions, if you want someone to pray with you, just to comfort your heart. If you've been through a heartbreak, sometimes you've gone through a heartbreak, you were in a relationship for 5 years and you thought you were going to get married and you didn't get married. Sometimes those things, it takes a while for you to rebuild your heart and rebuild yourself. That's okay. Take the time to heal instead of making the wound worse. Some people, you get in a relationship and then it doesn't work out, then you add another one, then you add another one, just in this bid to get down the aisle. And some men are scared now because they're just thinking, this girl, she doesn't care about my last name, she doesn't care about my name, she doesn't care what I want to do, she just wants to know, are you ready to go down the aisle? And there's a lot more to it than that. So please be patient with yourself. Ask the Lord to show you when it's your season. Ask the Lord to lead you, to guide you, to give you the wisdom for you and for him. And the Lord really help you in this journey. Love you. Thank you for sharing your testimony.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, I can't say that yet. No. All right.
The testimony will come.
Yeah, so loading. Watch this space.
For part 2.
Bye. Adults, like, subscribe, share, blah, blah. I know that's all. Love you. Bye.
Bye.